newspapers and magazines did you regularly read before you were tapped for this to stay informed and to understand the world?
I've read most of them, again, with a great appreciation for the press, for the media.
But like what one specifically, I'm curious that you...
all of them, any of them that have been in front of me over all these years.
That was not a good answer. All right, but was it a gotcha question? Sarah Palin sure thought it was, and deciding what is and isn't a gotcha question has just become a thing in this 2016 race now that Republican candidates are trying to dictate what is and isn't allowed in their upcoming debates. Now, take these questions asked of then Texas Governor George Bush back in '99. Question is, were they gotcha questions?
Can you name the president of Chechnya?
No, can you?
Can you name the president of Taiwan?
Yeah, Lee. The new Prime Minister of India is, no.
All right, well, this election season, people are pointing to the very first debate question when Bret Baier at Fox News asked if anyone might not support the Republican nominee, a question obviously squarely aimed at Trump, or this question, the first asked at the Democratic debate to Hillary Clinton.
Secretary Clinton, I want to start with you. Plenty of politicians evolve on issues, but even some Democrats believe you change your positions based on political expediency. You were against same-sex marriage, now you're for it. You defended President Obama's immigration policies, now you say they're too harsh. You supported his trade deal dozens of times. You even called it the gold standard. Now, suddenly last week, you're against it. Will you say anything to get elected?
Okay, so here's the question, and I think these people can have a different definition to the very same. But from your eyes, Shelley, what is a gotcha question versus what's just a tough one?
Well, I actually don't think it's that easy a distinction. I think what happened in the last Republican debate, they're calling it the issue of gotcha. I think one of the issues they were frustrated about is they didn't get equal time to answer questions. That's not an issue of gotcha question. Right. And they want to have the openings and closings in a more orderly way to give every candidate an opportunity. I think that those are fair points, very fair points when you have a multiplayer field. When you get into the questions, I'm not very sympathetic to their argument. I think you're entitled to be asked hard questions, questions that are uncomfortable, and the interviewer is not obligated to be sort of an insider in your ball game like
right. They're asking for a Republican, for conservative talking heads to do the next one.
No, and that you voted in the Republican primary.
You know, the GOP has a lot to be concerned about with these debates because the debates are about these questions about so-and-so. Richard said about you, Brad, blah, 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 blah. How do you respond? I mean, to me, that is just pitting one against the other. Don't you think we learn more that way? We learn nothing that way. It's interesting. It's exciting. Everyone wants to be confronted with their own words, with words of others, so they can get them all fired up. I think it's absolute nonsense. If you ask, like Hillary's, the question that was posed to Hillary there, that was asking about her track record. That is a perfectly fine
well, it's
question.
funny because Dr. Carson said, Andrew, that, hey, there should be no questions about personality or morality. That has nothing to do with it. I think it does have something to do with it if somebody wants to be elected president.
I think if it's a policy-related question, that's fine. And if you're asking, hey, Brad, your policy conflicts with Shelley's, explain yours, I think that's fair play also. But if it's, if it's water cooler stuff, if it's, Shelley said that she didn't like your pocket square, respond to that. There's no, sorry, that was a gotcha question. I'm sorry.
That was over the line.
Like that, I think crosses the line. And some of these other questions, I think, are better suited for interviews.
But it seems like the networks are going to capitulate to this to keep getting the Republican debates. They're going to change their format. We all know who's ever done
this.
The
is a
opening
reality
and closing
show.
Statements of like 8 people on a stage. It's deadly. It's going to take up so much
time. This is a reality show they're
televising.
Let them ask reality questions. They are asking reality questions, but that's a pretty low threshold
I disagree.
At this point.
I think you make the debates more boring, but they're more informative. Maybe not as many people watch, but you actually stir the pot.
I don't want to lose time on this one. First of all, I want to bring the audience in, and you can answer the same question I'm asking the folks at the table on Facebook and Twitter. And here it is. Gotcha questions. Is the GOP right, like Brad thinks they are, that they're going too far? Or does it just want to make its own rules here when it comes to debates, and they'll dictate to, obviously, the networks as such? Now, before we go, we wanted to congratulate the brains of this table, the Assemblywoman. Shelley received the Andre Olson Founders Award yesterday. It is named for a woman who was an activist for the Democratic Party and dedicated her life to improving Yonkers here Congratulations.
Thank you very much. She
Definitely.
was a wonderful person.
I would just like to add, we need a lot more members like Shelley Mayo.
Thank you.
I'd like to add nothing.
Yes.
Thank
I'd
you.
like to add that I
We have
admire your
headlines coming
hair,
up as Brad
and I
continues to
love
bloviate.
it.